Home Secretary, apologies for interrupting you. Laura Farris also wants to ask questions about this same issue, and I'm conscious as well that we have a statement coming up later in Parliament today. So can I turn to Laura Farris, and then you may be able to continue those points in response. Laura.
Good morning, Home Secretary. Yes, I did want to pick up on the subject of the strategy, and I know there's a statement later. On this committee, we have recently heard evidence from the London Victims Commissioner in the context of serious sexual violence. And one of the things that she told us is that sometimes gateway behaviour, and the example she gave actually was of stalking, was not treated sufficiently seriously by the police. Victims had reported stalking and it had been, I regret to say this, but sort of dismissed. And we've seen some evidence of similar gateway behaviour perhaps not being treated seriously in the Sarah Everard case. And so I wanted to ask you specifically what steps the Home Office is taking to ensure that the police response to what may seem like quite low-level offending is taken seriously and that the police are acting appropriately.
Absolutely. Well, look, I'd like to start by thanking you for your question, because there's no excuse, quite frankly, whatsoever. And also our call for evidence that acknowledge, particularly in public places, that these gateway behaviours were all too common. And that, of course, leads to women and girls not feeling safe at all on our streets and across the country. So it is absolutely important. It is vital, absolutely, from a policing perspective, that they not only do more, and you've also mentioned the Sarah Everard case as well. This is exactly why I commissioned HMIC FRRS to conduct an urgent inspection into the police's approach to tackling and preventing these crimes, which clearly affect women and girls. They disproportionately affect women and girls. And that also means now, from the work that will take place through this strategy, we have to strengthen our system. And that means from our side at the Home Office, working to introduce a new national policing lead for tackling violence against women and girls. So this means a new top police officer, making sure that across policing we have consistency across police forces in terms of how they deal with these issues. When women and girls report these crimes and any examples of gateway behaviour, I shouldn't have to sit here and say they have to be treated seriously. They should automatically be given the serious treatment. And the individuals, the women and girls, must be treated with respect in terms of the way in which these cases are looked at, how they're reviewed, how they're treated in terms of giving supportive evidence. And that is fundamentally a major change that we need to have in policing. So we're introducing a national police lead to address this and tackle violence against women and girls. This will drive forward a new approach in policing, but also a consistent approach across police forces. And this will also build upon the inspector's recommendations. There is a lot to do post the inspector's recommendations in terms of addressing violence against women and girls. And I just think there is just so much more to do in this space. And our commitment...
Could I pick up on one point, which I think is something I think that ripples beneath a lot of these issues. And it's primarily around girls, actually, and that is the accessibility of online porn, which many young kids, school kids, can access at the click of a button. And it seems to me that even if you have the best policing, the best teacher-focused approach, the best parental guidance in the home, you can't really change the guidance, the culture where you've got 13-year-old boys who are able to access not just ordinary porn, but really extreme, violent pornography, which affects their attitudes. And I'd be interested to know what the Home Office is doing about this.
Yeah, well, the Home Office agrees completely, absolutely, with the point that you have just made. And I do, as Home Secretary, my views on this are very, very strong. And this is why I absolutely believe, I mean, as part of the online abuse, the harms bill, there is more that we have to do here in terms of absolutely having age assessments, having those gateways to stop the access to what, quite frankly, is extreme pornography that leads to some of the most appalling behaviours. Behaviours that should never, ever, ever be accepted or deemed to be acceptable. So this is exactly where the cross-government work is taking place with Department of Culture and Media and Sport in particular. I want to see those proof of age, measures come in. I think we need that. Obviously, as you've said, there's so much more work to do. This is about behaviour change. We have to absolutely make sure that education and the other aspects of government continue to work in that way. And, I'm doing everything. I strain every sinew. I'm very determined. I hold strong views. Naturally, I hold strong views about this. I want to make sure that we protect women and girls, but I want to make sure we protect the public and ensuring that the public come to no harm. And to do that, that means we have to work collaboratively across government to, yes, challenge these companies as well that are hosting some of this disgusting material.
Thank you. And my final question, Chair. One of the themes I think that's been raised quite a lot is around public street harassment. And I read your article in The Times with interest this morning. And it seems to me that is certainly something that is still, a door is being left open in that regard. And I've been working on it with some young women in my constituency and with Our Streets Now, the campaign group. It's true that it's already a public order offence, but it's been striking to me that lots of young women don't know that obscene sort of shouting and screaming in the street is a public order offence. And again, I've heard reports that when or if, it's probably if actually, they do go to the police to report it, again, it's often been brushed off, dismissed as a sort of unpleasant incident that's best forgotten rather than criminalised. Could you sort of talk us through your thinking and really where you are on the issue of a discrete offence for public street harassment?
Absolutely. No, this is very, very important. It really is. And also our call for evidence absolutely acknowledge this about sexual harassment in public places. It's all too common. And I'm very familiar with Our Streets Now and actually the work that you and many other colleagues have been leading on. And I've spent time as well with campaigners. And it is extraordinary. So first of all, our priority must be to ensure that women and girls know that they can report these crimes, but also have the confidence. I want them to have the confidence to do this because alongside the comments that I've just made about changes in policing, we are bringing in changes in policing, and I'm unequivocal about that. These changes, part of the VOG strategy, are coming, and that means the police will need to enforce the law properly and give women the confidence that if they report an issue, if they report these crimes, it will be dealt with. And women and girls will watch the police on this. I mean, I can't speak strongly enough about giving women and girls public confidence. That public confidence comes two ways. To have public confidence in policing, the public need to know that the police are going to take any crime that is reported to them seriously. So I am looking very, very carefully where there may be gaps in existing laws about how a specific offence of public sexual harassment could address this. You'll appreciate as well, this is complex, but it is important. I want to make sure that we work with colleagues, we work with campaigners to ensure that anything we do in this space has the desired outcome. We want to make sure that this is fixed, this is resolved. And quite frankly, right now, I'll do everything possible when it comes to the policing side, while supporting women and girls, victims, know that they can report these crimes and have confidence in the process in doing so.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then just to